What if the people you trusted the most weren't just hiding secrets, but building entire lies around you? Jim Jones has finally come forward, and what he's revealed about Chrissy and Camron has shocked fans, crushed friendships, and exposed a scandal that no one saw coming. A fake child. A secret alliance. And a betrayal that feels more like a setup than a slip-up. This isn't just hip-hop drama, it's a calculated story that's unraveling in real time. And now, the truth is out, the internet lit up like wildfire. When Jim Jones went live with his truth. For years, he'd kept silent through Chrissy's emotional pleas and Camron's subtle shade. But now? The dam had burst. Jim wasn't just tired, he was done. And he had receipts. It started as a cryptic caption under an old photo of Jim, Chrissy, and Camron, smiling on a red carpet. I should have known that night was the last time the love was real. Within minutes, fans were speculating. Within hours, blogs were reposting. And by the next day, Jim had dropped a 15-minute Instagram live that changed everything. They said love was supposed to build, not trap. But I was living in a damn setup. That one line shattered everything. Jim went on to explain that months before the now infamous hotel footage of Chrissy discovering a positive pregnancy test, he had already suspected something was off. She'd been distant, emotionally erratic, and strangely obsessed with his schedule. According to Jim, she asked too many questions about when he'd be home, who he was meeting with, and whether he'd have his phone on him. He chalked it up to relationship stress. Until one day, he found a receipt, not digital, but literal. A printed Amazon order for a novelty prank, positive pregnancy test kit, hidden under a pile of papers in their shared office. At first I thought maybe it was for a joke. Until I saw the shipping name. It wasn't even hers. It was in Camron's alias. The name Camron used for booking studio sessions without press? It was the same one on the shipping label, and that's when things stopped being funny. Jim said he kept quiet, pretended he hadn't seen it, let the act play out. Weeks later, Chrissy made her move, tears, test, trembling hands. And Jim played along. I wanted to see how far she'd go. I needed to know if she'd admit it. But she didn't blink. What hurt more, Jim said, was finding out that Camron had allegedly helped orchestrate the moment. Texts between the two, screenshots now partially leaked, show conversations where they discussed catching it on camera and making sure the angle felt real. They tried to turn my life into a scene. Like it was a show. But I ain't acting no more. The betrayal was deep. This wasn't just about a fake pregnancy. This was a con, played by the two people he trusted most, his partner and his brother-in-arms. The internet erupted, Twitter threads broke down the timeline. Fans uncovered old clips of Cam joking about fatherhood, surprises, and Chrissy's past statements on wanting to lock Jim in emotionally. Context changed everything, even old love and hip-hop scenes felt sinister in hindsight. The infamous, I proposed to him moment? Suddenly, it wasn't empowerment, it was desperation. Viewers who once cheered Chrissy now questioned if the reality had always been just a little too scripted. And Cam? He didn't help himself. Instead of denying anything directly, he posted a cryptic story showing a toy baby doll in a Dipset onesie, sitting next to a bottle of hot sauce. The caption? Y'all believe anything but your own instincts. Was it denial? Mockery? Or just a mask over guilt? Jim didn't stop there. He hinted at more, voice notes, emails, and even a contract outlining a content strategy built around a relationship cliffhanger. They had plans, man. This wasn't about love. This was about engagement, on social media, not in real life. The word engagement stung hard. Jim and Chrissy's lack of a wedding had long been a hot topic. Fans pressured. Chrissy pushed. Jim hesitated. Now, some say the fake pregnancy was Plan B, a desperate final move to force commitment. They thought if the world believed it, I'd have no choice but to make it real. The pain wasn't just betrayal, it was humiliation, and the worst part? Jim said he still loved her. That's what makes it the hardest. If I ain't care, I'd walk. But this broke something I can't rebuild. By the end of the live, Jim's tone changed. Less rage, more resignation. They broke me in places no diss track could touch. And with that, he ended the stream. The internet didn't sleep for days. Fans split. Some called for Chrissy and Cam's cancellation. Others begged for receipts. Many just felt sad, for Jim, for the years lost, and for a love story that ended not in heartbreak, but betrayal. What happens next? The fallout is just beginning. Within 24 hours of Jim's emotional reveal, the internet transformed into a courtroom, and everyone had something to say. Screenshots, hashtags, and reaction videos flooded the timelines. What had started as a dramatic confession was now a full-blown public trial of Chrissy and Camron's credibility. Even blogs that usually avoided messy breakups couldn't resist. Hollywood Unlocked, The Shade Room, and Baller Alert all dropped timelines, matching Jim's receipts with past interviews, photos, and shady captions. And let's be clear, it wasn't looking good for Chrissy or Cam, but then came the bombshell from an unexpected voice, Mama Jones. Jim's outspoken mother has never been one to bite her tongue, and she didn't this time either. That girl ain't never been for you. I told you that. You didn't want to hear it. Now look. The clip from her Instagram live went viral within minutes. Fans praised her for her honesty, while others felt her words added gasoline to an already burning fire. Either way, the spotlight was now broader. This wasn't just about betrayal, it was about family, history, and trust. Meanwhile, Camron continued to fan the flames. In typical Cam fashion, he released a freestyle on his Instagram with lines that barely veiled the scandal. I told Shorty don't do it, she said she had to / said love ain't work, so a baby might trap you. The comments exploded. Is he confessing or mocking? This is wild disrespectful. He thinks this is a mixtape rollout? But Cam wasn't done. He started liking comments that called Jim soft, reposted memes about faking a family to save a crumbling relationship, and even shared a skit of someone reenacting the fake test video. Jim didn't respond publicly, but insiders said he was furious and disgusted. Friends close to him claimed he was considering legal action, not just for emotional distress, but potential defamation. In a twist that took the drama to a new level, an anonymous source sent TMZ a voice note, allegedly from Chrissy, speaking to someone about the plan. It's not like I wanted to lie. I just needed him to take us seriously again. Cam said the shock would push him back in. While TMZ didn't confirm its authenticity, fans matched the voice, phrasing, and timing with past clips of Chrissy. The general public? Convinced, and that's when the tide began to turn. Fans who had once defended Chrissy now questioned her character. The narrative wasn't just about heartbreak, it was now about manipulation and calculated pressure. People began to ask, was Chrissy really in love, or was she addicted to the image of being Jim Jones' one and only? Backlash spread fast. A major fashion brand Chrissy had partnered with quietly scrubbed her photos from their website. A rumored return to reality TV? Put on indefinite hold. Camron's endorsements also took a hit. One streetwear brand dropped a subtle statement. We stand with authenticity. No names were mentioned, but fans knew. Yet amid all this, Chrissy broke her silence. She posted a black and white video, no makeup, no background music, just her speaking directly into the camera. I know I've hurt people. I know some things I thought were solutions only made things worse. I never meant to deceive anyone. I didn't want to lose the man I loved. Comments were turned off. But the reposts? Immediate. Some praised her for finally speaking. Others called it damage control. Jim didn't reply publicly, but he did post a clip of himself walking out of a studio with the caption, "Truth don't need a soundtrack." People interpreted that one line 1,000 different ways. Meanwhile, private DMs leaked showing Cam bragging about owning the timeline and calling the whole saga the best rollout since Dipset's reunion. That leak did more damage than any lyric ever could. Public sentiment swung harder than ever before. Even fans who used to laugh at the drama now questioned the mental health impacts, especially on Jim. A close friend of Jim told Complex, this broke him. Not because he lost her, but because he trusted them both with his whole life. By the end of the week, media outlets weren't just covering the scandal, they were running op-eds about it. Articles titled, "How Reality TV Romance Broke the Internet," and "The High Cost of Public Love" trended on major sites. The message was clear, the fallout wasn't just about gossip anymore. This was cultural. It was about relationships, masculinity, emotional manipulation, and how the internet eats truth for breakfast. And the craziest part? There was still one piece of the story left to drop. As the dust began to settle, what remained wasn't just a fractured love story, it was the exposed anatomy of a relationship that had been rotting from within. Jim Jones had done what most men in his position wouldn't. He told the truth, even when it made him look vulnerable. But that bravery came with a cost. In the days after Chrissy's quiet video apology and Camron's smug reposts, Jim disappeared from the spotlight. No lives. No tweets. No subtweets. Just silence. Fans speculated he was either preparing legal action or finally doing the one thing he hadn't done in years, healing. That theory was confirmed when Jim resurfaced with an exclusive sit-down interview with Angie Martinez. Clipped, polished, but still emotionally raw, Jim spoke about his pain, betrayal, and what comes next. I ain't perfect. But I ain't a pawn either. I let love blind me. I let history tie my hands. But that's over now. He didn't name names, but he didn't need to. His message was clear. Chrissy and Camron had crossed a line, and there was no coming back. But the most powerful moment? When he talked about how the betrayal made him question himself. You ever look at someone you love and realize they looked at you as a tool? That's the worst kind of heartbreak. Not the kind that leaves, you carry it. The interview reached nearly 10 million views in a week. Celebrities, influencers, and fans alike praised Jim for his composure and honesty. Even those who had once doubted him now saw the full scope of his pain. Meanwhile, Camron doubled down. He announced a new podcast episode titled, Don't Believe the Hype, where he promised exclusive truths about what really went down. But instead of clarity, it was 45 minutes of sarcasm, skits, and sidesteps. People love a villain until they remember he used to be the hero. That one line did go viral, but not in the way he hoped. People called him tone-deaf, manipulative, and incapable of remorse. Even some of his most loyal fans admitted, this time, he went too far for Chrissy, on the other hand, remained silent. No new posts. No statements. Just ghosted from the public eye. A source close to her said she was completely devastated, and that she never imagined the story would spiral this far. But it was too late. Public forgiveness doesn't come easy, especially when the story involved not just emotional deceit, but a manufactured pregnancy meant to corner someone into lifelong commitment. One final twist rocked the internet, an unreleased scene from Love and Hip Hop surfaced, featuring a producer's hot mic picking up Chrissy saying, "Let's shoot it again. This time, I'll cry harder when I show the test." That clip ended the debate for many. It wasn't desperation. It wasn't love. It was strategy. And Jim? He had been played like a character in a script. The wave of sympathy for Jim turned into something bigger, a movement. Fans began posting stories about their own betrayals under the hashtag #FakeLoveIsRealHurt. The topic trended for 2 straight days. Mental health advocates weighed in. Therapists posted breakdowns of emotional coercion. What began as drama had turned into dialogue. Jim embraced it. He announced a short docuseries titled Unscripted, diving deep into his side of the story, but also highlighting other men and women who'd faced emotional deception. The trailer closed with a now iconic quote, "The realest thing you can do is tell your story, before someone else scripts it for you." The docuseries deal was just the start. Jim's music sales spiked. His old Dipset catalog climbed the charts again. And while pain had been the catalyst, his evolution became the reason people stayed watching. Camron, meanwhile, began facing industry pushback. Bookings were cancelled. One brand partnership pulled out publicly, stating, "We stand against all forms of exploitation, even in entertainment." The very fame he weaponized had turned into a spotlight that exposed every flaw. As for Chrissy, her last known move was checking into a private wellness retreat. Some fans hoped she'd come back and tell her side. Others believed silence was the only path forward, and maybe they're right. Because some chapters don't end with closure, they just stop when the last lie is exposed. Jim's final word on the matter came in the form of a tweet, "Forgiveness don't mean we talk again. It means I'm done bleeding from what you cut." Simple. Final. Real. The fake child may have been a lie, but the consequences? They were all too real. This wasn't just another viral scandal. It was a raw, unfiltered reminder of how trust, when broken, can leave wounds deeper than any diss track. Jim Jones didn't just expose a lie, he peeled back the layers of emotional betrayal that too many people suffer in silence. Now it's your turn. Have you ever felt manipulated by the people closest to you? Have you been caught between love and loyalty, and lost yourself in the middle? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're bringing you more untold stories, real reactions, and the truth behind the headlines. Like this video if you believe healing starts with honesty, because this isn't just about Jim, Chrissy, or Camron. It's about all of us, navigating loyalty, love, and the lies that test them both. Stay locked in. Stay alert. And remember, when the story gets loud, we're the ones who listen deeper.